So we have the nighttime lighting. And I want to talk about entities. So it's just come up in my field recently, so I want to address it. What are entities? They are a lower order life form. They are energetic parasites. They are all over the place. And if you're asking, do I have an entity? Yeah, you have a lot of entities, which is why you would do anything like feel shame or feel jealousy or feel not good enough or have kind of envy over other people or celebrities or something like this. It would be an entity living inside of you that would give you any kind of pleasure in watching some sort of YouTube video that like ranks celebrities based on their looks or their plastic surgery or their, like anything that has comparison, which is very violent, or ranking like top 10 reasons to XYZ, that's the opposite of intuition and love. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with this. In this reality, we have a dual system. We have light and dark. We have good and evil being extraordinarily relative terms. We have a story that is you. So you think you are you, right? So you think that you are a human, you have an identity, you have a family, and most likely you have some sort of spiritual mission, which is to be your true frequency, in my opinion. You may not know what your true frequency is, and that's the whole point. So you have your ego, which is your false self, and you have your true self, which is deep inside of you in your shadow that you're unaware of. You came here to be your true self, but you got distracted and you've been this false self for who knows how many years. Let's just say 40 years. For 40 years, you've been something that's not you. And so this shows up in like discomfort in the body. This shows up in like chronic disease. This shows up in general unhappiness in life. And if you don't have peace with who you are, then it's probably because you went really far into your false self and you didn't find out who your true self is. So to me, it's really important to know who your true self is, because if you don't know what your true self is, you don't know what your boundaries are. So this is like lethal. This is absolutely lethal. Like there are certain people who don't have any pain receptors, so they don't even know if like their hand is on fire. This is lethal. Like you have to know what your boundaries are. So your hand being on fire is a violation of your boundaries. Similarly, your job, your relationships, the food you eat, things like when you go to bed and when you wake up, what city you live in, if you live in nature, if you live in a high rise, all of these things affect you. And if you don't know what your boundaries are, then you could be harming yourself like a lot without even realizing it. Because if you just think about it very logically, if you accept, at least for this conversation, just accept the idea that there is a false self and a true self. False self is who you think you are. It's your ego. It's in your mind, right? It's what's socially accepted. Your family accepts you for it. Your society, your culture accepts you for your false self. Your true self is in your shadow. Your true self is unknown to you, but known to you. Your intuition is your true self's intelligence. So if you're really divorced from your intuition, if you're really like not in touch with your body, and if you have a lot of ailments, then you're probably serving the boundaries of your false self. So if you're serving the boundaries of your false self, you're probably going against the boundaries of your true self a lot. Because of this duality that we live in, your true self and your false self, they're almost diametrically opposed. So someone who's like, let's just say, they're really proud of their intellect. They got many advanced degrees. They have a high standing in society and they make a lot of money and they live in an enviable housing situation. This person, their true self may want to have a simple life. Their true self may not care so much about this kind of outward seeming masculine intelligence. They may care more about, and I'm talking about their true self might care more about feeling the feelings of other plants. It's possible that someone like this, if their false self is so hard charging and so achievement oriented, their true self might, let's say, have a frequency that's very similar to that of plants. and might prefer the company of plants to humans. Plants are beautiful people, right? They're people that don't have egos. So do you see that someone who has almost no ego, their true self has almost no ego, their false self will have a strong ego. Their false self will have like the worst characterization of the matrixy kind of world ego, you know, success in the matrix. Because their false self doesn't, well, their true self doesn't care about that. And therefore their false self cares about that a lot. So your entities help you be your false self. Your entities help you go as far away from your true self as possible. And in that way, it's kind of like obvious and easy how to find your true self in that kind of way, because every time your entities feed off of you, that's the not you. So if you have a shame attack over something, like, I don't know, making this up, like you're watching some YouTube video about like celebrities and makeup, and you have some sort of shame, jealousy attack, I don't know. Your true self probably doesn't give a shit about that, you know? It just shows like whatever your false self is the opposite of your true self. Again, this world is dual, and your entities help you stay and be like imprisoned in your false self. So everything that the entity is like, that means your true self is the opposite. It's like very easy. It's very easy. So it's kind of like you're on a path and you don't know where to go, but you know you're on a path, right? And the only way to find the path is to ask people. And I'm like, well, what if I told you there's one golden rule that applies in this reality? All the entities will lie to you. They are a lower order life form that serves evil, so they will always lie to you. So if on your path that you don't know where it is, every single person you encounter says, go left, then you go right. And then if you encounter other people that say, go up, then you go down. It's so easy, you know? But do you see that in order to have this perspective, I mean, let's just say it's like easy for me to say, if you have this high level view, right? You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to like not be afraid of entities, and you have to understand that they serve you. This point of view is definitely achieved when you've already been on your path a minute. This is the result of discipline. So if you have discipline with yourself and follow your intuition to the end, which is something I talk about, like follow your intuition no matter what it says, because your intuition is the intelligence of your true self. So if you do what your mind says, what your false self likes, if you guard the boundaries of your false self, then you're divorcing yourself from your intuition. You're going to suffer a lot. And you're also going to have like bodily pain and digestive disorders and all kinds of stuff. But if you follow your true self and your intuition, and you just don't care about the entities because they just point you in the correct wrong direction to know who you really are, then everything serves you. And it's nice. Okay, so I wanted to say that. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.